tutorial. This lecture is on this isoelectric point. You call them as the pi. What is this isoelectric point? Fine. So we have studied the basic structure of any kind of amino acid. So the amino acid, it is going to contain the amino group as well as the carboxylic group. So these two, if it is going to be a diprotic amino acid, what do you mean by diprotic? That means that it is protonated or deprotonated at two sites. What are the two sites? One is this carboxylic acid, one it is going to be this amino group. Okay, and what are this triprotic? Triprotic means they are protonated at three sites. Number one, it is going to be this carboxylic acid. Number two, it is going to be this amino group. And number three, it is going to be this R group. Okay, not all the amino acids they have this R as an essential component, because in glycine this R becomes H. Okay, so that doesn't make any kind of protonation. But if you take all the basic amino acids like lysine, arginine, histidine, likewise if you take the acidic amino acids like glutamic acid, aspartic acid, so all of them, they have this extra R group having an effect. Got it? Okay, so this is the difference between this diprotic and the triprotic amino acids. So now what happens if at all I am putting my amino acid in the pH? What it is going to happen? pH. What is pH? pH is nothing but negative logarithmic of hydrogen ion concentration. If I am going to put this amino acid into the pH, absolutely the pH is going to influence the state of my amino acid, because they are all charged, isn't it? So if I put them at a particular pH, it is absolutely going to affect the charge. Because of the charge, what happens is that there is going to be a certain modification in the charge or the net charge of our amino acid, right? But there is going to be a one point of pH. For instance, the pi, it can keep on, if you keep on changing the pH, the net charge, it can either increase or it can decrease. But at one point, the net charge becomes zero. The point at which the net charge becomes zero, it is what is called as the isoelectric point, or that is what is called as the pi. I usually say that, yes, so if at all you are in your lab, or if you are working, so you are in your office, so you will be very strict, yes, so you will not be as cool as you are with your friends, right? So that becomes something like a negative charge. Okay, so in this office, because you are highly tensed, you have a lot of work, you have a lot of work in the lab, you have a lot of work in the college, you are highly pressurized. Okay, so you are having a negative charge at that point, right? So now, yes, at home or with your friends, you feel that you are highly free. Okay, so you are the same person, but in the college or in your office, in your lab, you are serious, and at your home, you are relaxed. But there is one point, maybe you take the lunch time. Yes, at the lunch time, you are neither very happy, you are neither very very tensed. Okay, so you have a neutral appearance. That point is what is called as the pi. It is the point at which the net charge, it becomes zero. It is neutral. Net charge becomes zero. Okay, right. So that is what is called as the pi. Pi, it is the point. Let us see the proper definition. It is this isoelectric point at which it is the pH at which the net charge is becoming zero. Right. Okay. So this is the important point, because at this pi only you will be able to separate your amino acid, because the amino acid, it will not migrate after this point as your isoelectric focusing experiment. We'll see that later. Okay, so this means that the pH of the amino acid, it is becoming neutral. So they are going to exhibit themselves in this Zwitterion form. What is this Zwitterion form? See here. Zwitterion form means the net charge becomes 0. I am not saying that it is in a non-ionic form. That is different. See, this is going to be the non-ionic form. That means no ions are there. But what definition I gave you? The Pi, it is the pH, yes, where the net charge becomes 0. Yeah, so it doesn't mean that you don't have any money, for instance. So you earn 10,000, you spend 10,000. Okay, so the net charge, net money with your hand is now 0. Okay, so this is going to be the net charge. Okay, so this is not an equivalent of this non-ionic form. You should remember that. Alright, why I am saying is that because, for example, so you are putting this into a very different pH. Now the charge is going to change. Okay, so you cannot call them as non-ionic form, but you use a specific term that is called as the Zwitter-ionic form. Okay, so here what happens? The COO, it is giving you a negative charge. This amino group is giving you a positive charge. So these both cancel together. So the net charge becomes 0. So the pH at which your amino acid is going to attain this stage is what is called as the Pi. Clear? Okay, right. So how do you calculate this Pi now? The Pi, it is actually given by the average of the pKa's. Okay, so that is involving the zwitterion. So we have to calculate the pKa of your amino acid group, amino group, and the pKa of the carboxylic group, isn't it? So that is only going to give you the average of the pKa of the amino group, the average of the pKa of the carboxyl group. That is only going to give you the Pi. So these are the different amino acids that you can know. Yes, so you have this non-polar amino acid. So we use this clue, GAP, will, MET. What is that? Glycine, alanine, proline. Yes, and then your valine, isoleucine, leucine, methionine. Right. So these are all the non-polar and aliphatic group. Yes, and tryptophan, phenylalanine. So these two are coming under the aromatic group. Okay, so this aromatic group, it is going to include this wife, we call them as wife. Okay, so it is going to be this tryptophan, tyrosine, and then this phenylalanine. Okay, and then the polar group, yes, tyrosine is coming under polar. Yeah, so the only Wi-Fi you can keep. Okay, so here under the polar group you have this serine, threonine, cysteine, tyrosine, asparagine, and glutamine. Likewise, these 5 only you have to remember, acidic and basic. Okay, so acidic, it is going to include aspartic acid and then this glutamic acid. Alright, fine. Right. Now, coming to the most important part, how to calculate the Pi. Okay, so far we have been discussing what is the Pi. Now we will see how to calculate the Pi. Calculation of the Pi can be done in 2 ways. Okay, and 2 concepts you have to remember. One, it is for neutral side chains, and the next you call them as this diprotic amino acids. Okay, so the second one is charged one, so that is going to be the triprotic. So this is for the diprotic amino acids. Okay, right. So if you take this diprotic amino acids, like all these fellows, you have only 2 pKa. That means the R group is going to become neutral. Okay, so it is not get into this calculation. Now, how you can calculate the Pi or net charge? That is nothing but, yes, pKa of your amino group plus pKa of your carboxylic group divided by 2. That's all. Very, very direct. Fine. So this you will definitely know. You will do it very easily. So nobody will have any confusion on this point. Now let us see what happens in case of this triprotic acid, especially glutamic acid, aspartic acid, yes, and lysine, arginine, histidine. Okay, so for these 5, this rule is applicable. So what is the simplest clue I have made is that, see, here you have 3 pKa. Okay, last time you had only 1, isn't it? So now you have the 3 pKa. let it be 3 or 4, anything. Okay, so you have to go and check the values. See here, what is the pKa value here? It is somewhere around 2, right? So this pKa value is somewhere around 4. This is somewhere around 10. Okay, now you are going to club together those which are similar. Similar means less than 7, greater than 7. Only two categories. If it is going to be less than 7 or greater than 7. Now here these two are less than the 7. Who is the odd man out here? This fellow is the odd man out because these two are less than 7. This is my odd man out. So eliminate the odd man out. Now I have only two values. What are the values? 1.88 and 3.65. Add them and divide by 2, you will get the answer. Yes, 1.88 and 3.65. You just total them and divide by 2, you are going to arriving at this value. Got it? How to eliminate the third one? The logic is that if it is going to be acidic or if it is going to be basic, that is the concept here. Okay, if it is going to be acidic, then you will take these lower ones. Okay, so if it is going to be basics, you will take these higher ones. But at the exam time, you will not remember which one is giving what. So that's why I have asked you to do this odd man out method. Okay, so you take this histidine. If you take the histidine, yes, so this is going to have, so it is going to have the pH that is between 6 and 9.16. Okay, so between these two only, it is going to have the PI of 7.59. Okay, right. So that is how you can very easily calculate. Maybe you will try out with the problem, then you will get it. So see this question, our CSER December 2016 question. The most appropriate pH at which the net charge is becoming 0. Okay, right. So see here. So this is going to be the pKa 1. So what is the pKa 1? 2.02. Right. So this pKa 2 they have given us 3.8. Okay, right. Fine. And this pKa 3, it is going to be 9.94. Now who is the odd man out? This is 2.02. This is 3.8. This is 9.94. So 9.94, it is going to be the odd man out. Eliminate him. So now you are going to take an average between 2.02 and then 3.8. Yes, add together. So that it comes around 5.82 divided by 2. So it is coming around 2.91. Got it everybody? Very, very simple. Isn't it? Right. So the net pH or the net PI, net charge is becoming 0 at the point called PI. What is PI? It is pKa 1 plus 2. The pKa 1 and 2, I am telling the togetherness. Okay. So you eliminate the odd man out and then you arrive at this formula. Absolutely correct. Let us check out with one more question here. Carboxyprolin, it is going to contain 3 ionizable groups. So number 1, it is the alpha carboxyl, alpha amino, and then gamma carboxyl group. 2, 10.5, 3.8. Which one you will eliminate? Which one you will eliminate? This is the odd man. So eliminate him. So it is going to be an average of 2 and 3.8. So that becomes 5.8. So 5.8 by 2. How much? 2.9. Got it everyone? So easily you can solve any problems that are coming up exclusively with this PI and pKa. Okay all, I hope this lecture was very much useful to you. Let us try one more problem with lysine. Yes? Okay, good. So what is going to be this PI of lysine? Right. So it is going to be 2.2, 9 and 10. So now which one you will eliminate? Which is together, which is odd man out. Odd man out is going to be this 2.2. Okay. So you're going to add 10 and 9, that is 19. So 19 by 2 becomes 9.5. Got it? Very easily in a moment you can calculate this PI. Got it everyone? Okay, that's the spirit. Come on everybody, keep learning, keep revising. I'll keep posted with you with more videos. So you can also enroll us at Unacademy by using the code Sarnya Live to get more lectures of very easy learning.